Hello everyone! Today we are diving into the major new genres that arose during the classical period, the symphony and the concerto. These forms replaced the older Baroque genres and became the crowning achievements of Viennese classical music, holding their ground well into the 20th century. A crucial driver for these new forms was the rise of the public concert. As concerts became frequent social hubs, organizers needed substantial pieces to serve as the focus of the program. The symphony answered this need, requiring a level of variety and flexibility that early 18th century orchestras simply couldn't provide. Let's start with the symphony. A typical classical symphony consists of 4 movements, each with a specific function and speed. The first is fast and substantial. The second is slow and quiet. The third is a dance called the minuet. And the fourth is a fast, brilliant finale. The intellectual and emotional core of the symphony is the first movement, which is almost always written in sonata form. You can think of sonata form as a drama featuring themes as characters. It has 3 main sections: the exposition, the development, and the recapitulation. In the exposition, the basic material is presented. We hear a first theme in the home key, followed by a bridge that modulates or changes key to a second group of themes. This change of key creates a sense of dynamic forward movement. Next comes the development. Here, the tension heightens. The themes are broken up, recombined, and tossed around in turmoil. The music moves restlessly through different keys until a retransition prepares us for the return home. Finally, the recapitulation resolves the tension. We hear the original themes again, but this time everything stays in the home key, providing a sense of stability and balance. A perfect example of this is Mozart's Symphony No. 40 in G minor. Unlike many classical works, this piece is dark and uneasy, suggesting a struggle against constraints. The first theme has a unique, nervous energy. In the development section, Mozart takes that tender theme and fragments it, breaking it into smaller and smaller pieces until it seems to lose itself in grief. Now, let's look at the second movement. This is usually the slow movement, offering a restful contrast. A favorite form here is variation form. Unlike the Baroque era, where variations were built on a bass line, classical variations usually transform a simple tune in the upper register. The master of this was Franz Joseph Haydn. Haydn spent 30 years as Kapellmeister for the Esterházy princes, where he managed an orchestra and opera house. Later in life, he achieved massive fame with his London symphonies. One of these is the Surprise Symphony. In the second movement, Haydn presents a simple, charming tune. The surprise comes when a crashing fortissimo chord interrupts the quiet melody, a joke Haydn played to wake up the audience. He then takes this theme through variations, adding a counter melody in the first, shifting to a dramatic minor mode in the second, and giving the tune to a solo oboe in the third. The third movement of a symphony is the minuet, a stylized dance inherited from the court of Louis XIV. It provides a light contrast in triple meter. The structure is always minuet, trio, minuet. The trio section usually reduces the orchestra to fewer instruments for a lighter texture. In the Surprise Symphony, Haydn's minuet feels less like a polite ballroom dance and more like a bumptious country dance. Finally, we arrive at the fourth movement, the finale. The most common form here is the rondo. The principle is simple. A main tune, A, comes back again and again, separated by contrasting episodes, B, C, etc. In the finale of the Surprise Symphony, Haydn uses a fast, joyous rondo. However, he mixes in elements of sonata form, creating a complex sonata rondo, where the episodes actually develop the themes. Alongside the symphony, we have the classical concerto. This is a contest between a soloist and the orchestra. Mozart perfected this genre in his piano concertos, pitting the soloist's agility against the orchestra's power. For the first movement of a concerto, Mozart developed double exposition form. Instead of repeating the exposition, the orchestra plays it first, staying in the home key, and then the soloist enters for a second exposition that modulates to a new key. This shows off the soloist's superior range and mobility. A highlight of the concerto is the cadenza, a moment near the end where the orchestra stops and the soloist improvises to show off their skill. In Mozart's Piano Concerto No. 23, the mood is gentle and songful. Unique to this movement, Mozart introduces a brand new theme halfway through, which then becomes the focus of a dialogue between the piano and woodwinds in the development section. We also must mention Joseph Bologne, Chevalier de Saint-Georges. Born in Guadeloupe, he was a champion fencer, a military leader, and a violin virtuoso who commissioned Haydn's Paris symphonies. His violin concerto in D major features a rondo finale. Since it is a finale, the soloist doesn't wait. The violin leaps right in with the tune. It showcases the virtuosity that made the violin such a prized instrument of the era. So, whether through the intellectual drama of the symphony or the virtuoso contest of the concerto, classical music was about balancing structure with pleasing variety, creating forms that could contain the widest range of human emotion. Now please listen to the deep dive.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
So today we're digging into a really pivotal moment in music history, around the 18th century.
It's this massive cultural shift, really. It's the moment music, it packs its bags.
Packs its bags and moves out of the private courts of the aristocrats.
And into the public concert hall for the very first time.
And what's so fascinating in the research is that this change of venue actually forces the music itself to change.
Oh, completely. Because you're no longer just providing, background music for a royal dinner.
Right. You have to hold the attention of a paying crowd. A crowd that might not have any musical training at all. You need to give them a roadmap.
Exactly. And that need for a roadmap, for a clear story, gives us these two monster genres, the symphony and the concerto.
Let's start with the symphony. The sources call it the crowning achievement of this whole era.
They do, but you shouldn't think of it as just a long piece of music. It's more like a novel or a play.
A drama.
A drama, yeah. And the plot of that drama is what we now call sonata form.
Which sounds a little intimidating, but it's really just the three-act structure of a movie, isn't it?
That is the absolute best way to think about it. You have your first act, the exposition.
Where you meet the main characters, the themes.
Precisely. Then you get the second act, the development.
The messy middle.
The messy middle is perfect. This is where the plot thickens. The themes are broken up, recombined, thrown into turmoil. The sources call it fragmentation.
It's where the hero gets lost and everything feels unstable.
Exactly. Until you reach the third act, the recapitulation.
Where everything comes back home and order is restored.
And a perfect example of this emotional journey is Mozart's Symphony No. 40, the one in G minor.
Which is famously intense. It's not the polite powdered wig music people might expect from Mozart.
No, not at all. The literature describes it as a kind of struggle against inescapable constraints.
So he's using that really rigid logical structure to contain this very raw, very human anxiety.
He is. It proved that this new public music could handle serious emotional weight.
But it wasn't all, existential dread. The sources also point to guys like Haydn.
Yes. Haydn understood that a public audience also just wants to be entertained. He used the same structures to play jokes.
He realized that once you teach the audience the rules of the game,
You can start breaking them for effect. He was a master of wit.
which of course brings us to his surprise symphony, number 94.
Right. Everyone knows the big, loud chord. But the genius is all in the setup.
He starts the second movement with this very simple, very quiet, almost nursery rhyme-like tune.
He's lulling you. He waits for the audience to relax, maybe even for a few people to doze off.
And then bam, a massive crashing chord out of absolutely nowhere.
It's a literal wake-up call, but it's also sending a message.
What's the message? Pay attention.
Pay attention. This isn't just wallpaper. This is an experience you're meant to engage with.
Okay, so the symphony is this big collective story.
Yeah.
But the other big genre that explodes is the concerto.
Right, and if the symphony is a novel, the concerto is more like a debate. Or maybe a duel.
A duel between the soloist and the orchestra.
Exactly. It's this dynamic balance between the individual's virtuosity and the collector's power.
And the structure is different too, right? The notes mention something called double exposition.
Yeah, so in a concerto, the orchestra usually speaks first. They lay out the main ideas, they set the scene,
Okay.
and only then does the soloist enter, almost as if to say, all right, I've heard your points, here is my perspective on them.
And speaking of unique perspectives, we have to talk about Joseph Bologne.
The Chevalier de Saint-Georges. What an incredible figure.
Just an unbelievable story. Born in Guadeloupe to an enslaved African mother and a French plantation owner.
And he rises to become not only one of the great violin virtuosos in Paris, but also a champion fencer.
And a military commander during the French Revolution. You can sort of hear that athletic energy in his music.
You really can, especially in something like his violin concerto in D major. The finale uses a rondo form.
So that's different from the sonata form.
It is. A rondo is designed to be catchy. You have a main theme, a tune that just keeps coming back. Let's call it A.
Okay.
So you'll hear theme A, then a new idea B, then back to A, then another new idea C, and back to A again.
Oh, so it's kind of like the chorus in a modern pop song.
That's the perfect analogy. No matter how fast or complicated the solo parts get.
You always know that familiar chorus is just around the corner to ground you.
Exactly. It allowed a virtuoso like him to show off incredible agility while making sure the public never got lost.
You know, it seems like that's the real theme of this whole era. It's all about finding that balance.
It is. It's about building these rigorous, logical structures.
And then filling them with all this human emotion and humor and unpredictability.
That's the key takeaway.
So a final thought for you to consider. The next time you're in a period of your life or your work that just feels chaotic and messy.
Remember the development section.
Right. It might feel like everything's being torn apart and fragmented.
But you can't get to that satisfying resolution, that big homecoming at the end, without going through the turmoil first.
The chaos is just part of the plot. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.